This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, along with my co-host halfway around the world, the Primus, Tim Hendricks. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Excited. Episode 2 of year 3.
Episode 2 of year 3, yeah.
Yeah. It was weird because I went through all these. I went through these states and I'm like, holy smokes, we didn't do this, and I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize we hadn't done your home state yet, and that for some reason that was the first thing that I put on the list. And
yep.
And kind of wishing I had added a 7th one by considering what I saw in this one of these states, because that one was near impossible. But we're back again. We're back again, trying to see if we can one up ourselves again. I'm going to tell you, one of these states we could probably go over.
Oh yeah. I was going to say that. Yeah, we're probably going to go over for one of them. It'll be interesting to see Minnesota. I actually did 2 different lists for Minnesota, so I did a sports list and then I did a non-sports list. So
I'll tell you for Minnesota, I have a double up and a triple up, which my triple up could easily have been a quintuple up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's Minnesota was a big one.
New York
was another tough one to kind of
try to narrow it down
where you wanted to go, and so. But with that being said, yeah, we're doing states where people were born. Again, disclaimer. We might have overlooked somebody or put somebody on our list that come to find out we're from that state. So bear with us. But if we make that mistake, we make that mistake, because I almost did. But so with that being said, let's start with Missouri.
Oh, you're starting with Missouri. No, you're gonna leave your home state for a sec. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're gonna put Minnesota at the back end.
Okay.
So we're gonna be telling we are the Gophers of the Big Ten. We're gonna be in last place. So
no, because if I know the Big Ten, like I know the Big Ten, that could be Rutgers.
I'm just messing, but yeah, it is Missouri. We're going to start with
who's usually the last place team in the SEC.
Yeah. I got a double up. Well, yeah, I got kind of like 2 double ups here, but
I had a double up, and then somebody's name got put on the list that pushed my double up right off the list.
Ooh, okay. So with that being said, I will say. No, I don't. Oh man,
I say I could see 4.
All right, I'll say 3 because I'm kind of curious now. But all right,
I will tell you my double up after.
Okay, number 5.
My number 5. It's amazing because every time you see this actor, it seems like he's always being portrayed as somebody from the state of Illinois. Between the Blues Brothers 2000, the Bears guys on Saturday Night Live, Dan Connor on the Roseanne Show, an absolute superstar. And I still remember the one of his most underrated movies, I think, of all time is King Ralph. I absolutely love King Ralph. I think it's so underrated, especially for the time period. But I love this guy. And his transformation for him to get healthy has been absolutely amazing. I should try to contact him to see what he did to do what he did.
Yeah,
did.
that's good.
I'm not a small man, and he was never a small man, but he was a very hulking character. But he was back in the 80s and 90s when everybody else had Bill Cosby as their dad, or Bob Saget. My number 5 was, I always felt like he was like the epitome of my dad. And it was and my dad was a bigger guy too.
Yep.
My number 5 is Dan Connor himself, John Goodman.
Yeah, good one there. Yeah, no, I didn't realize he was one of the Bear guys.
Yeah,
Wow,
he was. Yeah, it was like the third or fourth episode they started doing it. They had brought him in.
Okay,
To start doing it. Him and the other one, the one from Cheers. They started.
That's why I thought he was on there.
They were both on there, but when it started getting to the point where they were starting to push the Bears, and I think it was Chris Farley that had brought John Goodman in, and wanted to do it. So that's how he got in.
Gotcha. All right, my number 5. We're going to go to the asphalt. We're going to go to racing. I don't know what to say. I mean, the race is in their blood, I guess. I think the whole family does it. Wallace race family. I'm putting them all on there at number 5.
My brother's favorite driver growing up was Rusty Wallace.
Yep. All right. Your number 4.
My number 4. What can we say? Probably the greatest New York Yankee catcher of all time. Absolutely brilliant. I'm going to double check now because I'm almost positive. I think I double checked it myself. I think I double and triple checked myself because I thought he was originally from the New York area. But I'm going to be double checked. But
Yep. No.
He's born on my mother's birthday in 1925. My brother's birthday in St. Louis. So I'm good. But I think he had a brief stint as a manager also for the Yankees for a little bit.
Yep.
But for most people who really love the reason why they love this guy is because of his sayings, because they were almost like they were double talking what he said. He did an AARP. He did an Affleck commercial where he said they pay you cash, which is as good as money. And they were in a barber shop, and even the goose went, what? Right. And one of his other ones was it's deja vu all over again. To me personally, and I'm not a Yankees fan, but if there was a Yankee I was always going to admire and look up to, it was definitely this one. My number 4 is Yogi Berra.
Okay. Not a bad Yankee to look up to. I mean, we all know I'm not a big Yankee guy. Well, I might become a Yankee guy now.
Might become a good one here pretty quick.
Yeah. My number 4, I'm going into the squared circle. I got 2 guys here. I could put the third one on there, but I'm gonna be loved by 2 of our very own here on C2C. I got Glenn Jacobs as Kane, and I got Randy Orton.
Orton was born in Knoxville. Orton was born in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Glenn Jacobs was born in Spain.
Shut up.
That's the only reason why they're not on my list. I would have had God's honest truth. I would have had Glenn Jacobs on, and I would have had Randy Orton.
Okay, go on. I flabbergasted. Check that one myself.
Flabbergasted? I was too, because I always remember it's like from St. Louis, Missouri. Or no, was it St. Louis? He always bills himself.
Oh my God, he is. Why did I?
He bills himself out of Joplin, Missouri. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they build.
Oh,
they
maybe
build,
I looked at his dad because his dad's for
Bob's
Kansas.
or yeah, Bullet Bob is from. Cowboy Bob is from Missouri. I believe.
See, like I said in our disclaimer, we overlook things.
So
All right, you're number 4.
my number 3.
3. Yeah.
My number 3. It's believe me, it was the Glenn Jacob one from Spain because I knew he was. I knew that he had gone to school in Missouri. That's like Albert Pujols graduated from a school in Missouri too, but he's originally from the Dominican Republic and then he moved to New York.
Wow.
But he grew up and he calls St. Louis home. But my number
honestly, I didn't know Glenn Jacobs was from Spain. That's weird.
I didn't either because I knew he was from Missouri.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I thought too. So,
Yeah.
All right.
Which is funny if you think about it. Randy Orton was born in the city that Glenn Jacobs is the mayor of.
Yeah. All right, you're number 3.
My number 3. This man is alive and kicking, and unbelievably so. I just saw him. They did a small performance at the Tonys where they did a rendition of, because I believe they're doing Mary Poppins on Broadway, and they had him come out for a brief little period to in the performance on the night of the Tonys that he came out and performed a little bit of his Step in Time from Mary Poppins, and a guy that is I don't understand with all the pratfalls that he took on the Dick Van Dyke Show, and Mary Tyler and not, he wasn't on Mary Tyler Moore was on the Dick Van Dyke Show, but all the pratfalls that he did and all the things that he's done, and this is the man that I hope makes it to 100. He's close. I know he's really close.
98.
Yep, and he's on our Deadpool list in our family, so I don't talk about I don't talk about that. A guy that I absolutely adore, admire. Is another one of those people when he passes, it's going to be a very, very dark day in this world. Much like his brother Jerry, another guy I love when he was on Coach. My number 3 is Dick Van Dyke.
His brother, was he the assistant coach?
He was he was can't remember.
Yeah, he was the goofball that
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know those two were brothers.
I didn't either until after Coach was off the air.
I gotta say, I overlooked Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, but he would have been number 4. You know, actually, I probably would have had him at number 2. Yeah, that's a guy I would love to sit down and just chat with because
I would too.
You know, the people he's worked with, the stuff he's seen. I mean,
yeah,
you know, definitely. You know, a guy. Yeah, I hope he makes it well past 100. I mean,
yeah.
All right, my number 3. You know, you guys know I'm not much of a reader, but you know, what can I say about this guy? You know, everything he wrote, I think, has been,
Who did I miss?
I'm just trying to think the awards and stuff, but that's one Samuel Clemens, a.k.a. Mark Twain.
Oh, thank God. I'm like, who did I miss? I'm like, wait a minute. Who did I miss?
Yeah, Mark Twain, he's, like I said, I'm not much of a reader, but you know the name, you know his stuff. You got to respect what he's done.
Yeah.
All right, your number 2.
My number 2 has seen himself come back in a resurgence as of late. For some reason, everybody loves his diss tracks, and it seems like everybody wants to pick a fight with him. I think it's a stupid move because he's only going to put you on vinyl and he's going to make you look like an idiot. And everybody thinks he's from 8 Mile. Everybody thinks he's from Detroit. but he's not. Absolutely not. And it's when I found this out, I was blown away. So basically, all that Michigan has now is to hold their hat on is right now the Detroit Lions, because the Pistons suck, the Red Wings suck, the Tigers are mediocre. My number 2 is Eminem.
Really?
St. Louis, Missouri, folks. Born in St. Louis, Missouri. We did this over Michigan.
Yeah, actually, he was born in St. Joseph's, Missouri.
St. Joseph's, yeah, which is not that far from St. Louis.
Wow. Didn't even see the name on there.
I guess we're not getting 4, huh?
No.
Oh.
My number 2, great actor. I don't think he could do much non-comedy stuff because I think he is a very serious actor. And pretty much most of the movies I've seen him in, he does do the serious stuff, which he is very good at, business-like, especially Moneyball. I just had another movie in my head that I liked him in. I can't even think of it. Ocean's 11.
You're going to hurt yourself here in a second. You're going to hurt yourself.
You're going to tell me Brad Pitt's not from...
He's from Oklahoma. He's from Swanee, Oklahoma.
What the mother? God dang it. I swore I looked that one up. Oh, my God. Well, whatever. Right. My list sucks.
All right. I went looking for Ashton Kutcher, too, and I'm like, wait, I know he's from Iowa.
All right. Yeah. Well, whatever. Go to number 1.
I'll make you feel a million times better if this makes you feel any better. We have a phrase here on C2C. It's the phrase that pays. It's not sniping it's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 1 is your number 3. I saw Mark Twain and thought it had to be my number 1.
All right. Well, your number 4 is my number 1. I got Yogi Berra as number 1 here. So, well, Missouri sucked.
I will tell you my double up, and there's a really small story, and my brother used to tell this to people left, right, and center, because we had an aunt that lived in Texas that said, you had a cousin that was married to one of these men, and we find out it's not true, because it's kind of true, because their mother married a Stewart, which is a family member, but we don't really know how true that is. And I think my Aunt Sue has said that isn't real. But Frank and Jesse James were my number 6.
Yeah, I was gonna put them on there too, and I probably should have. My list would have been more legit then. But yeah, no, I saw them. I miss John Goodman. I don't know.
And my Rusty Wallace was number 7.
Yeah.
Oh, just please! I know the next state you're going to, and I'm literally scared.
Born in Oklahoma. God, I missed the whole border of Oklahoma. I saw Missouri on Brad Pitt's thing, and I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, because I think he left after he was 9.
Yeah,
and he graduated, and I think he ended up going. He went to University of Missouri too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the next state we'll go to is Montana. We'll see how good we do there.
That's the one I was afraid you were going to say.
Oh, see, I struggle with New Hampshire.
Oh, no. New Hampshire was easy compared to Montana.
No, you might be right. You might be right. Now that I think about it. Yeah. All right. So people born in Montana. This might be our...
We could legitimately go 5 for 5 on this just because.
Just because. If we go 5 for 5 on a state that we are going to say that we're going 0 for 5 on,
we won't do an immaculate 5. I don't have and this is how much I know you could probably do it. I don't have a double up anywhere.
No, I don't either.
If you did,
I don't see us going 0 for 5. No, I had a better time in Montana than New Hampshire. Looking at my list here, but anyways, so I say 2.
2? All right. I'll give you 2.
But now I'm questioning about everything here. Okay. Okay. All
Aren't
right.
we, aren't we
So
always?
my number 5, I think this is a first for a list like this. Possibly could be something we talked about before, maybe the sport in general.
Nope.
But I couldn't find a number 5, so my number 5 is a professional cowboy bull rider,
Yeah, I know. We don't have one.
Bill Linderman.
Yeah, we're not going 5. You just proved that point. Yeah, I saw the name. I couldn't. I was like, God, should I? And it seems like something that I would have pulled out.
Yep.
But yeah, no. I never thought about it 3 times, and I was like, I could have done fake characters, and I'm thinking I could have really done a couple different fake characters, but no, no.
Oh, what fake characters could we have done?
Gosh, there was a couple that were from Montana.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's one from NCIS from CSI Las Vegas.
Oh, you're talking those. Okay.
Yeah, that type of characters, and I'm like,
Okay.
no.
All right, you're number 5.
Most people would have to watch the shows to understand it.
Yeah.
We have a saying on outside of the 2 sniping sayings. You got to be first at something. And especially if you're going to get put on my list. one's a great thing, and the other one is the scratching head moment. But it's all done by the same person. So I want to say it was 1942. This woman was the first female elected to the United States Congress. That's the cool part because, you got to be the first. Somebody's got to be the first, right? Well, here's the questionable part about her. She is the only person to have ever voted against World War II.
Ooh.
That's not a place you want to go down in history, especially when Hitler and Mussolini are across the pond playing games.
Yeah.
But my number 5 is Jeanette Rankins.
Okay. My number 4, we like cartoons. I saw this guy on there. I mean, granted, I think he's more of a comic strip guy, but this one is definitely first per se. I got cartoonist, comic strip writer Stan London.
Yeah, I saw that. I'll be
Your
honest.
number 4.
My number 4, I'm going to an actress, most notably playing opposite of Anne Hathaway, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Heath Ledger in Brokeback Mountain. We would have known her for getting her start on Dawson's Creek. Great. I love when watching you trying to figure out who it is. It always makes me impressed that I may have stumped you. She was in the first 2 Venom movies as the kind of on again, off again love interest of the Tom Hardy character. But she is also well known having given Heath Ledger his only child before he passed away. My number 4 is Michelle Williams.
Oh.
Good thing we didn't get. I didn't go with it. 5 wasn't serious.
Right there. Okay.
Good thing number 5 wasn't serious.
Yeah. My number 3, funny guy. I want to believe he was maybe not part of the original cast, but definitely in a cast on Saturday Night Live. He comes what's the movie I'm thinking of? The Man of 1,000 Faces or something.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I didn't even see his name on that list. That makes it even worse.
Yeah, but Dana Carvey.
Yeah, I saw it. And I saw the picture and I went looking for it and I never saw it. And I'm like, son of a biscuit.
Wayne's World. That's another one.
Wayne's World is, the Man of 1,000. Oh my gosh. There was that one scene where he tries to be a turtle and that was enough for me to watch that movie.
Turtle.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a turtle. Okay.
All right. You're number 3.
My number 3. I know you've heard of the TV series that he's directed. And it's weird is when he's on this list. at number 3. That tells you how terrible the state is. No, the state. Believe me, don't get me wrong. Everybody and their mother wants to live in this state, but they're just not from this state.
They just don't want to be from there.
Yeah, just be from there, please, because that's what you would be famous and be on this list with us. But he did a little TV series called Twin Peaks. God, I remember that series, and I'm like, literally didn't want to watch it, but for some reason, it's kind of famous here. Most people know exactly about Twin Peaks. They don't know about the director, but he's done other movies. He did Eraserhead. I didn't even realize he did Eraserhead. But my number 3 director is David Lynch.
Okay.
We may go 0 for 5.
I'll be shocked if we go 0 for 5.
We won't.
We won't. My number 2, great actor.
We're good.
The one show, well, 2 shows I recall him on, Dallas, and then the father of Step by Step, Patrick Duffy.
Didn't even see Patrick Duffy on the list.
I hope you saw number 1.
Oh, come on. And the funny thing is, when you said actor, I'm like, oh, we're great, a great actor. And I'm like, oh man. And then you didn't. And then he was like, yeah, it was on Dallas. I'm like, mine's not on Dallas. Mine wasn't even close to Dallas.
All right, you're number 2.
My number 2, again, we're going to go great actor. Passed away well before we had a chance to see any of his good stuff. I've watched a lot of his stuff. He's a hell of an actor. My number 2 is Gary Cooper.
Okay. All right. My number 1.
This better be on. This has to be.
I don't know. I'm kind of scared, but
I'm scared
my number 1 has 11 rings.
Oh,
The mastermind behind the triangle offense.
Tex Winter?
Yeah. The guy, is, good or got to coach 6, 7, 8 of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
That's one, Phil Jackson.
And the funny thing is, one of them may show up again on somewhere down on the list down below. Yeah, it's not C2C unless you're sniping. It's the phrase that pays, but we don't pay anything. My number 1 is your number 1. I saw the Zen Master and thought, if Phil Jackson isn't my number 1, I don't care how many people below him, it's not going to work. Like you said, 11 rings. How many different three-peats? 3?
Well, yeah, 2 with the Bulls and
2 with the Bulls and 1 with the Lakers.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think
Yeah, exactly.
And then, no.
Then he had 2 outlier ones again with the Lakers too.
Yeah.
Well, he's also the only one on the Knicks that has ever gotten a world championship.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
he was on the last Knicks finals team.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the other one.
All right. Well, let's move. We're not doing so hot here.
Wow.
3 out of 10 right now. Because my Missouri one really sucked.
Wow. And the one that you got right, we hit on.
Yeah. Well, we hit on 2 in there. So
yeah.
But all right, let's go to the state I struggled with. So I'm honestly gonna
say 3. I can see 3 from looking at mine.
3?
I can see 2. I'm going to say 2 at the least.
God, I've got to go 1 because I could possibly see 2.
I can see. The weird thing is, I can see 3.
Maybe 3 if you. Oh, man. I'm going to go 2. I won't be shocked if we only get 1 though.
I honestly say we're not getting 5. Just so
we're not getting 5. No, I got a curveball. I got curveball maybe 2. So, all right, you kick off with number 5.
My number 5. I'm going with a singer/actress. Right there, you're gonna say nope. Came out about the same time as Christina Aguilera and Christina
Well, we're on good
Aguilera.
pace for 5, but we won't get 5.
Christina Aguilera, Jessica Simpson, and Britney Spears, and then all of a sudden she's become this actress. I saw her in a movie and didn't recognize her, and I thought that was the most strangest thing. It was Orphan 2. It was Orphan 2. I saw her in Orphan: The First Kill, and she had played the mother, and I didn't recognize her until I
played the mother.
She played the mother.
She's that old to play a mom?
Well, I know who I'm thinking of at this point. I can't tell you anything she's ever sung. I've listened to it. She's had some good songs. It's just the fact is it's New Hampshire. It's just New Hampshire. I could have to be honest, I struggled, and I think she was the last. She's on number 5. There's a reason for it. My number 5 is Mandy Moore.
Yeah, she and the phrase that pays. I'm not going to hide it. My number 5 is Mandy Moore. She sang the song Candy. I know you've heard that one. She's appeared in several films, including Saved, Because I Said So, Tango, best known for her role as Roberta Peterson as I didn't know this. This Is Us. I didn't realize that was Mandy Moore.
I didn't watch This Is Us.
Yeah, my wife watches it quite a bit. So, yeah, no, Mandy Moore. All right, you're number 4.
My number 4 is kind of the curveball because this is not the type of music you listen to.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, no 5. But my brother would agree with me. Probably the second best lead singer of Black Sabbath, had his own band. He's going to be the guy, had his own band called Dio, which is funny because it's Italian for God. I wouldn't have known that until I moved here. But my brother has seen this man and Ozzy and fronting Black Sabbath at Ozfest. So, and it's kind of strange in the 1990s, but passed away in 2010. My number 4 is Ronnie James Dio.
No, it's not the name on there. You're right. Not my type of music. My number 4, ironic that I'm gonna put this lady on my list because tonight's my poker night, and she is good for her poker. I think she's one of
don't say the name.
The most iconic ladies in poker.
Okay, that name's fine.
My number 4 is Annie Duke.
Thank God you said Annie Duke, because I'm going to say, if you say that other one, I can't stand that girl.
Who's that one?
Oh, I can't remember. I would have known the name, but man, the moment she opens her mouth, my dad and I would turn the volume off. We'd just literally turn it off.
All right, you're number 3.
My number 3 is currently now no longer in the squared circle. No longer in the squared circle. He is now in the board. He is now in the boardroom over at TKO as the chief content creative officer. He gets booked as saying that he's from Greenwich, Connecticut, but he's not from Greenwich, Connecticut. He was born in a little city called Nashua, New Hampshire. I remember the first time I ever saw this guy in a pay-per-view was WrestleMania against the Ultimate Warrior, and the Ultimate Warrior no sold his finisher, and was basically a 35-second squash match at WrestleMania, and Ultimate Warrior proceededly got fired after that match. Became one of the 2 founding members of probably arguably the top 2 factions of the Attitude era, if not of the entire wrestling business. That's arguably because we could sit here for 3.5 hours talking about why or why not that's possible. And then everybody, the only one to basically get crapped on for the I hope this gets to him. I really do, because at this point, I'm putting glowing words for him at this point. The only one to get crapped on after the curtain call at Madison Square Garden. Basically, Stone Cold Steve Austin has the curtain call to thank for that, because it was supposed to go to this. The King of the Ring was supposed to go to this guy instead of Stone Cold, and that took place in Milwaukee. Then he turned around and married basically the princess of the WWF/WWE, and everybody thinks he slept his way into everything he's got. I think he's a great historian. He's a great nose for the business, and you can see it. Everybody wants to work with him. My number 3 is Paul Levesque himself, Triple H.
Okay. My number 3, coach, player. When he's on his game, everybody wants him on their team. When he's not, everybody says he's the worst coach ever.
Bobby Knight.
So it goes to whatever side you want to be on. But my number 3 is Chip Kelly.
Oh, okay. I'm like, who in the world did I miss? Because I'm thinking Belichick is from Maryland.
Your number 2.
My number 2. It's the first time this is going to come up on this list. It can probably come up a couple more times on another list somewhere down the road. It seems that we like to put presidents on our list. Ooh. This one is no exception. My number 2 is the 14th president of the United States, Franklin Pierce.
All right. Well, at number 2, we're going to snipe here. You're sniping me. Triple H. I mean, what can you say about the guy? Where would he be if he didn't marry Stephanie? Would he be that into wrestling? I think watching documentaries and listen to him, I think he would be the guy that would want to be in the position that he's in. Would it be with WWE? Would it have been with Impact? Would it have been with AEW and stuff like that? Definitely he's turned WWE around.
If you listen to Vince Russo, supposedly sometime next year, The Rock is going to kick him out to send him to bring in his own guy.
Yeah,
it's Vince Russo. So at this point, Vince Russo is about as good as Dave Meltzer.
Yeah. Well, the thing is there's always been talk that Steph and Triple H were going to part ways if Vince kept owning it, and so I mean we'll see. I mean we know wrestling's just wrestling. Everybody's got their mindset. So
right.
All right, you're number 1.
My number 1. Again, we brought it up, and I brought it up again in Montana. If you got to be the first at something, you might as well be first. You might get on my list. You might as well be good first at something. And believe me, this is a monumental thing to put you ahead of a president, the game, Ronnie James Dio, and Mandy Moore. And it doesn't hurt that you grew up in New Hampshire. If you're the first American ever to be in space, you deserve to be on this list. You deserve to be number 1. My number 1 is Alan Shepard.
Man, I thought that was my curveball. I thought that was my curveball. Yes. Actually, I didn't know he was the first American. I just saw that he was the second person to travel to outer space.
Yeah, because it was a Russian. It was a Russian. I can't remember the Russian's name. I've been watching a series. We've been watching a series called For All Mankind, and it's based off if the Russians had gotten to the moon before we did, and how the alternate universe would look if we had lost the space race.
Yeah,
it's an amazing series.
Yeah, Alan Shepard. Yeah, I had him on there, and I'm like, oh, and to have him number 1, I'm just like, gosh, New Hampshire sucked. I mean, but yeah, Well, we got 3, so we did a little bit better. All right, so let's go into our next state. Let's go with New Mexico.
New Mexico sucked too.
Oh, really? I thought New Mexico was pretty easy.
Sucked.
I thought it was pretty easy. I mean,
yeah, it can be. I had pretty much had my top 4 in about 2 seconds. It was really weird.
I did, and my number 5 was kind of
I have a double. I have a double
I
up
think
at
it's
number
safe to
5.
say that if we both said our top 4 were quick, I'm gonna go 4.
My number 5 is a double up.
Oh, okay. I
I
don't have a double up. So
I think 3 is safe.
3 is probably safe. Yeah, we'll go 3. But my 4 were quick and easy too, so it'll be interesting. My number 5, I believe she dethroned the baddest lady on the planet in the octagon.
I can't believe you pulled that one out.
My number 5 is Holly Holmes.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe that. Okay, all right, we're good. We're fine. Oh, you 5 because okay, go ahead. Okay, that's
All
fine.
right.
My number 5. I'm gonna. This is my double up. I went the way of acting. One of these were a kid actor. If you watched like The Color Purple, not The Color Purple, not The Color Purple. I'm wrong. I can't remember the movie he was in with Whoopi Goldberg, with Oprah Winfrey and Whoopi Goldberg. It might be The Color Purple, but everybody remembers him in Doogie Howser, MD, is playing the main character, Doogie Howser, and then became an absolute superstar after he came out and had his resurgence in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, playing a alternate version of himself, and then became the ultimate superstar by playing Barney in How I Met Your Mother. But I remember him playing the voice of Spider-Man in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon series. My number 5B is funny because she was part of the original Brat Pack back in the 80s. She had done so many different things, and her big claim to fame for a lot of us, for you and me, was when she was playing opposite of Patrick Swayze in Ghost. And then really we ended up growing up with her when she did, what was the movie called? Striptease. You're really in depth on looking this stuff up. It's kind of scary. And then she married Bruce Willis, of all people, and gave him, I want to say, 3 beautiful children.
Clara's Heart is the movie.
Clara's Heart. Okay, I knew it was, but it was Whoopi Goldberg, right?
Yeah.
Okay, not Oprah Winfrey. That's what I get. I can get confused. She made headline news when she posed naked while she was pregnant on Vanity Fair. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she comes up and does Charlie's Angels in one of those breathtaking scenes, and it was kind of scary. And then turns around, divorces Bruce Willis, and gets married to a aforementioned person that we kind of said that we thought was from Missouri, but was actually from Iowa, in Ashton Kutcher. My 5A is Neil Patrick Harris, and my 5B is Demi Moore.
All right. My number 4. We're going to the gridiron because I think when you talk about safeties, strong safeties, hard hitters, I think you definitely got to bring up this guy's name. And if I remember right, I could be wrong on the person, but I know there's a story where he had to have surgery on his pinky up. And he said, nope, just cut it off. I'm playing this week. And so, yeah, you got to be strong just to do that. But my number 4 is Ronnie Lott.
Number 4. I'm really curious who you've got at number 1. I'm really curious. This could be a whole list of sniping at this point. My number 4. Matter of fact, my wife just got off the phone with this company yesterday because for some reason they lost my bloody.
I thought you were going to say got off the phone with this person. That would have been great.
She got off the phone with this person.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Yes, even his company has reach here. considering balder than me, but about right where you're at now. Considered one of the top 3 richest people in the United States, if not the world. The co-founder, if not the founder of Amazon himself, Jeff Bezos.
Hopefully, the new owner of the Minnesota Twins might have my wishes come true.
At this point, I hope he buys the Colts because Irsay sucks too.
My number 3 is part of your number 5. Neil Harris, yeah, like you said, popular as Doogie. I mean, just think if there was a kid, anybody that could have that brain power to, God, what was it? Graduate high school in 2 weeks and go on to get your master's in a month or so. I mean, yeah, just to think where that person could be nowadays. But yeah. Neil Harris, you're number 2.
My number 3, because
I started.
I went second. Right. We're gonna go. There was a time. I bet you saw this name on your list and you're thinking we're gonna get a Tim vacation story. Well, if most people haven't been here for 3 years now. We have this. If there's we used to, when I was growing up, we used to go on family trips. My family used to listen to country music, older country music, and things like that. And he's one of the top 10 that we would listen to, which is funny because his last name has nothing to do with New Mexico and it has something to do with Colorado. And then he sings a song about West Virginia, which is even more hilarious when you realize that he's not from Colorado. And probably passed through West Virginia. But I remember, what was it? It was Fallout. I want to say it was Fallout had put this song, Fallout 76 had put this song, his song, Country Roads, in their video game. And it was also part of their main title. And they make a joke about it in Super Troopers, where they talk about Charlie Pride had to give away his best new country artist award to my number 3. And it was always, I'm not going to say it because I'd have to paraphrase it right now. He says, and Charlie Pride had to give that award to John F. in Denver. My number 3 is John Denver.
All right, my number 2 is the other part of your number 5, Debbie Moore. What can you say about the lady? I mean, she's done it all pretty much. Yeah. You're number 2.
My number 2, well, it's the phrase that pays. I saw her as the first person you got to be on the list. You got to be first at something. I thought of it right away. My number 2 is your number 5. Holly Holm.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Which one is it? Go ahead. Which one is it? Which one? You don't have to.
My number 1 is your number 3, Mr. John Denver himself. All right. Your number 1.
My number 1 is the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 1 is your number
4.
Ronnie Lott.
Wow. Over John Denver. I thought for sure you would have
had. I like John Denver. It was just the fact that Ronnie Lott to me was still going to be like the greatest safety of all time.
Well, no doubt.
And then Holly Holm basically made Ronda Rousey eat her words. That was it. That was enough for me.
Well, we got 5. A roundabout way.
Yeah.
Because you had you had the founder of
Jeff Bezos
on there. Yeah, we still would have 5. If I would have saw that name and recognized that name, I would have put him on there. I probably wouldn't have put Holmes on there. So we still would have got 5. So
we got 5 in a roundabout way.
All right, let's go to New York. This one, I think we could have went on and on and on.
We could have did an hour show on this because
I mean,
the city by itself put out so many people, but I'm doubled up in 2 spots.
I'm not doubled up anywhere. Had to do some looking though to find out, make sure I had the right people in there because, who knows where these people are from. So, all right. So kick it off with your number. God.
2.
Well, 1, 2.
I'll say
we gotta go 4.
4. I'll give you 4. 4. Yeah, 4's
a solid 3 for sure.
We're gonna. I think we could. Like I said, I'm doubled up in 2 spots. I think 1, 2, 3. I think 4 is a possibility. 4's okay.
All right. Well, kick it off.
I don't know about you, but my number 5. I'm kind of hoping he shuts this kid up this weekend. I really hope so. At least one of the Paul brothers will get a lesson taught to him at one point, and I think it's going to be this weekend. I don't know about you, but I don't know if you have to work, but I got to wait until 2:00 in the morning to see that fight Saturday morning at 2 in the morning. God, this guy is the most dangerous. Still, to this day, even though he's 53, 54, still probably the most dangerous man alive. He's going to hurt this kid. I'm going out on a limb, and I think this is not going to last 3 rounds. And knockouts are allowed, so and no headgear, which I think was stupid on Logan's part. But that's fine. Or Jake. Either one of them could fight this guy, and I'd watch it. But my number 5 is the Dynamite Kid himself. He's got his own video game. Iron Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I don't have him on there, but yeah, Mike Tyson, I hope just eats him alive.
And I'm thinking, and I almost went shocked that I'm realizing how I could have had 85 people on this list. And
This was just huge. My number 5 rapper. I think he's acted a few times, but the first time I saw him there, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, put him on there. Mr. 2 Quarters himself, 50 Cent.
I did put 50 Cent on there. I saw it was one of the first names I saw too.
Yep.
There, you could have in the rap game. You could have went all day long.
Oh yeah. This New York had just been.
Yeah, it's scary how how deep that is in New York.
All right, your number 4.
My number 4. I'm going into the acting world, and I'm going to tell you this is the only actor I have on my list, which is kind of strange considering who's all come from New York. And you're going to think, oh, he went Pacino, and he went De Niro, and he went this way, and I'm going to say no. To me, the humanitarian level of this man makes him better than De Niro, better than Pacino, better than Gibson, who's also from New York. But to be the best friend of probably the funniest man to have ever lived, you have to have some type of humanitarian gene in him. The way they both met in Juilliard, I remember that they were both roommates. I want to think when Robin first got there, and they were best friends up until not Robin's passing, but the only man to truly play Superman, to always be Superman. My number 4 is Christopher Reeve.
Son of a bitch.
Because Cavill's from Britain, so I can't say that. But Christopher Reeve, yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve, that was a good one. That was a good one. Because if I would have put Reeves on there, my number 4 wouldn't be on there, but I got to put him on there. And you kind of alluded to it earlier. We get in January, we get to see his second term of president begin. I am going Donald Trump.
Yeah. He's 8.
All right, you're number 3.
I have a better president. Let's just say that.
Oh, probably.
Number 3. If it wasn't for this coach's term run in a little city called Green Bay, we don't have his name written all over the trophy of the Super Bowl. How much do you think New York really hates the fact is they didn't let the Giants let him go to Green Bay?
Yeah.
What would the New York Giants be if they had kept? This is going to be the funny thing. If they had kept either Tom Landry or my number 3, because they were both. I think Tom Landry and my number 3 were on the same coaching staff as the New York Giants at the same time.
Yeah.
There's a street right in front of Lambeau Field with his name on it. There's a street. There's a trophy with his name on it. At this point, he could come back and coach the Green Bay Packers, and nobody would blink an eye. They blink an eye because he'd be dead. But
Yeah, they would blink an eye if he came back and coached.
That's the only thing. The funny thing is that's the only thing they blink an eye at. My number 3 is Vince Lombardi.
All right, my number 3, probably the guy with probably one, if not second, of the greatest hook shots ever. Just makes it look effortless. Great basketball career, great funny actor in the movie Airplane. My number 3.
Was in a Bruce Lee
I think
movie.
he coached the Lakers for a split second.
I think he was in a Bruce Lee movie too.
Yeah, you could be right. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Well, I'm doubled up on number 2. Just so you know, it's a phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My 2A is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The guy who's arguably the funny thing is it's great when the only reason why these two are together at number 2 was because they're considered arguably probably in an argument as 2 of the greatest players to play basketball in NBA history. Everybody keeps forgetting that Michael Jordan wasn't born in North Carolina. He was born somewhere else. He was born in a little hospital in Brooklyn. Then moved to Charlotte. That's the only reason why he got the good school in North Carolina. But as you've just now figured out to me, there's no argument. It's 1A and 1. It's 1 and then 2. My number 2 is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but my number 1 greatest player of all time is Michael Jordan.
Wow. Did not know that. You are right. I would not have. Yeah, I didn't know Jordan was on there because, yeah, he would have been. I would probably put him and Kareem together at number 1. Wow, that's a good one. And you said you only have one actor on there, huh?
Huh?
You only have one actor on your list?
Yeah.
Ooh, we might go 0 for them.
Yeah. No, we didn't go 0 for it. We had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We're good.
Oh, yeah. We got Kareem. You're right.
We're good.
You had him at 3. Okay. Or you had him at 2.
Yep.
My number 2, when you started talking about your actor, and this is who I thought you were talking about, then you said that he's rude to Robin Williams, which would be impossible, given the age difference. But funny guy, funny actor, part of the Saturday Night Live cast, been in plenty of TV shows growing up. Can do funny stuff, can be serious, even though I don't like when he acts serious that much. And that's one, Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I think they were on Saturday. I think Robin hosted Saturday Night Live once. Yeah. I think if I'm not mistaken, there's video out there somewhere where Adam opens for Robin Williams at the Improv in California.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then the funny thing is, it's owned by Mitzi Shore. Mitzi Shore owns the Improv in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And that's Pauly Shore's mom.
Oh. Gotcha.
And
all right, you're number 1.
And the weird thing is Pauly Shore actually lives in Northeast Wisconsin. I think he lives in Oconto now. My number 1. we brought up a president earlier. I'm doubled up at number one because there's an important reason. To me, you've got another person who was the first to do this, and then you have his wife who was the first for two other things. You have to be on this. To be on this list, you kind of have to be the first, but you also, at this point, the greatest. The person I've got the person who I think is the greatest president to have ever lived, and people are going to be, but Lincoln isn't born in New York, and you're absolutely right. He's not. The guy who got us out of the Depression, the guy who got us out of World War II, so helped us get out. Served 3 terms. He's the reason why he can only serve 2 terms now in office. But I've got the 26th president of the United States, FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. But the thing that is more important is the second person on this. My second one, his wife. The person they think for the last 2 years of FDR's presidency, they think she was actually running the country, which is funny. They created 2 presidents created posts for his wife Eleanor Roosevelt. She's the first person to hold both of these posts. Harry Truman created the post for the first United States representative to the United Nations on the Commission of Human Rights. That was given to her by John F. Kennedy. And then she was also the first chair to commission on the status of women, and that was given to her by Harry S. Truman. I think what Franklin Delano Roosevelt did for the country was big with the great deal. But I think what Eleanor Roosevelt did was bigger, better, and much more broad. If I were to go 1A and 1B, I give 1A to Eleanor. I give 1B to Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
All right, my number one. You talk about Mike Tyson knocking somebody out. I think this guy can also. I think this guy can also knock out the Paul brothers. He's got a great series going with the Rockies. He's got a great series going now with Creed. Rambo is another good series.
That's right. He's from New York. Oh my God.
Yep. My number one is Sly Stallone himself.
That's right. He is from New York. I always thought he was from Pennsylvania, but I get that confused with Rocky. Yeah.
All right.
No, that's a good one. Did we go?
Yeah.
We went one?
We got one.
And it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep. Yeah, when you said actor, when you said you only have one actor, I was like, okay, does he have Adam Sandler as a comedian then? All right. So let's go into my state. Born and raised, except for the few years I lived in Michigan.
Yeah.
I do have 2 lists here. One a sports list, one non-sport list. So let's see how we do.
I'll tell you, I'm tripled up on one spot and I'm doubled up on another.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I think 1, 2 out of the 10 I got. Literally we should get a solid 3, 4.
Could one of those people be both put on both on the sports side and on the non-sports side?
It could have been.
Yeah.
Yep.
I told my wife
same high school that I went to that he graduated from.
I told my wife a little tidbit that you told me back many years ago. And she doesn't believe it.
What's that?
You'll know.
Okay. All right. So I get to start.
Yep. Your state, you get to start. Lead it out, Buckshot.
All right. So I'm going to go with 2 different people because I got 2 lists, both at number 5. One guy, if my son would watch this, that I would, if I didn't put this guy on the list because he met him, I would not be a good father. Actually, I did double up. My non-sports people, 2 great actors, and they kind of just fallen off the face of the earth. I don't know where they're at. My non-actor or my non-sport guys is Sean William Scott and Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn's still doing stuff.
Not much though, but yeah, he's hanging around. Vince Vaughn, who portrayed the running back in Notre Dame,
Rudy.
in Rudy, yeah. Great movie. And my sport person, my son was shopping at Sam's Club in Burnsville or Bloomington, I'm sorry, and trying to convince my wife that this was a wrestler, and she said no. Why would they be here in Minnesota? Until she found out that he was from Minnesota.
Yeah.
My number 5 is the big man himself, Eric Redbeard, or as recipe. No, man, it's Eric Rowan.
God, that's one guy. I hear he's an absolute sweetheart of a guy.
Oh yeah, my wife said that, and my wife doesn't go up to people. And she went up to him. He was soft spoken and said, "Yes, he was a wrestler, and would your son like a picture?" And it was one happy to take a picture.
It was the fun, and the best thing is that he offered, which makes it so much easier for people.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Well,
but I would have loved to have been there as my son's trying to look at the phone, trying to show my wife pictures of them as they're going up and down aisles.
Yeah, pretty much gave that one away, but then you wanted a picture.
Yeah, you're number 5.
My number 5 is where my triple up is, and you much like you did. You went to the squared circle. I went to the squared circle. I could have went 8 million different ways.
Oh yeah,
it was so weird. I went one from the early 80s. I took one from the mid 80s, the late 80s, into the 90s. And then I took one from today. I didn't realize the one from today went to the university, went to college in Marquette, went to Northern Michigan University. So I thought that was really, really weird. And the funny thing is, he's kind of got a little bit of a link to your wrestler because of what happened on the first night. A little group called the Wyatt Six showed up, and they thought, and everybody on the planet thought the Wyatt Six killed this guy. Which I thought was hilarious. Like, next time the makeup artist wants to do something, please don't put what looks like a bullet hole in some guy's head. My number 5, I can't remember. Did he become mayor or the governor? Yes. He did become governor. That's I like the guy just because he seems crazy. He's kind of like the wrestling Gary Busey. He's kind of a bit scary, but he's just amazing. And then you listen to Karrion Kross and Will Sasso do impersonations of
Karrion Kross kills
Karrion
it.
Kross is the to me and Chris Van Vliet never sees this, and Karrion Kross sees this. Karrion Kross is miles away better than Will Sasso. I love Will Sasso.
Oh yeah. Yes.
But it's mile and away so much better. If you guys ever get a chance, look up Karrion Kross impersonates. You'll know exactly who I'm talking about. The other guy comes from my number 2B, my 5B, is part of a great wrestling family from the state of Minnesota. Passed away, I think, way too much early. I believe he was a member of the NWO. I know he was a brief member of the Four Horsemen for a little bit.
Okay.
To do the vignettes that he did, where he's got everything he does. He did 2, 3, 4 months of vignettes before he even showed up on screen. I thought that one of the greatest packages I've ever seen. And then you've got a guy who basically takes a guy like Otis, makes him a tag team partner, and what he's become. I think he's becoming almost. And I'm going to be. It's going to sound crazy, but I think he's starting to get on the level of Dominic type of heel heat because of the way he is.
Oh no, we're close to Dom.
No, okay. But what he did when he turned to go with the was it American Made now?
Yep.
Yeah, I think, and he's the one that went to Northern. I didn't even realize he had gone to Northern.
I didn't either. I thought he went to Minnesota.
Yeah, he went to Northern. I almost put Brock Lesnar on this list, and then I found out he went to South Dakota. But my number 5 is the body himself, Jesse Ventura. My number 5B is the perfect one himself, Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, which, if you got WWE 2K24, comes out today, will be in that pack. Hopefully 2K sees that and sends me some merch. And my number 5 C is the shush man himself, Chad Gable.
Yeah. So what story doesn't your wife believe about Jesse Ventura?
It's not Jesse Ventura.
Oh. Now I'm kind of lost what you're talking about now.
Because I told her a story. I told her a story about somebody that's on my list. She knows the person. She doesn't. It'd be a little tough if she knew him now, but she knows of the person. But she didn't understand about his life before. You'll understand.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, all right. We're on 4, yeah. Okay, my number 4. One, we got a cartoonist that I think should be on the list, definitely. They renamed the Mall of America Carnival area with his cartoon, but now they renamed it, which I think is stupid. And then we got number 4 with the winter coming up, Olympics and stuff. You got a skier. So my sports is Lindsey Vonn. And then, of course, my number 4 is the great, and the guy could draw, and I'll give anybody credit that could draw, Charles Schultz.
Well, Big B, I'll make you very, very proud.
All right.
The phrase that pays, not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 4 is your number 4B, Charles Schultz.
Yeah. How can you have a Minnesota list and not have him on there?
Exactly.
All right, my number 3. Well, I'll give it half for you right now because my number 3 for the sports side is Mr. Jesse Ventura, who I graduated from the same high school from, and I believe one of my uncles went to school, or maybe my Aunt Tammy went to school with Jesse Ventura.
I'm going to have to talk to Tammy.
And then my number 3A, what can we say? I mean, they found the red slippers. Now they're up for sale again. I think this is the only movie I know her from. My wife hates this movie. And they're making a new movie, Wicked, I think it's called.
It's based off the Broadway play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my number 3 is Julie Garland.
The funny thing is, I know she's from Minnesota, and I didn't even see her. It makes it even worse. And I did this list yesterday. I did the rest today. Yeah, that's a shame.
All right, your number 3.
My number 3, I went to the gridiron. I think most people would agree that probably the best coach in Raiders history. Has a video.
Gosh, damn it!
has a video game that I have a tendency to watch YouTube videos about. And the funny thing is, my 3B was actually on an NCAA cover, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, when he was at the University of Pittsburgh, former ball boy for the Minnesota Vikings, which I know anybody who's a Vikings fan is disappointed that he never got drafted by the Vikings. And I completely understand that. I'm lucky enough to have an autograph card numbered to 5 by my pre-said 3B. So I'm going to go and put Brandon out of his misery now. My 3A is John Madden.
God dang it.
And I
always forget he's from Minnesota, too.
That's all right. I keep forgetting.
I know he's from Minnesota.
And the funny thing is I keep forgetting that Pat Summerall grew up about 25 miles from my house where I lived in Florida. So don't feel bad. And my 3B is Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that Fitzgerald, number card, makes it my way sooner than later. Dang it! I can't. Oh.
It's a second year absolute memorabilia.
Yeah.
Second year, yeah. It was a redemption, and I had it graded, and it's a graded at it.
Man,
It's a graded 10.
I don't know why I forgot Madden, and I know he's from Minnesota too. Oh,
Could be worse. He could be you could be he could be from he's from Minnesota and he coached the Vikings.
yeah. All right, my number 2. I'm going to guess that we're going to get a Tim story on one of these guys, possibly.
Probably one of them.
The other one, everybody's shocked when I tell them from Minnesota. They're like, no, he's from North Dakota. It's like, no, he was born in Minnesota. My sport athlete is Roger Maris.
Oh, I knew that one, but I don't have that story.
And honestly, I didn't know until we started doing some other lists that had. And my number 2 is one Bob Dylan.
Well, you don't have to worry about this story because it's the phrase that pays. It's the C2C Rankem. You're not sniping unless you're not trying. You're not cheating if you're not trying if you're not cheating. Right, no, that's not. You're not cheating if you're trying. You're not trying if you don't cheat. Okay, that's not it either. My number 2 is your number 2, Bob Dylan.
All right.
Now the story that we're talking about should be about your number 1.
Well, yeah. But I also got 2 number 1s, and
that's right. You got a
to me,
you have a wide receiver.
To me, in the sports world, I think overall this is the greatest athlete of all time.
I forgot about that guy.
And everyone's like, "Well, no, he's not." But to be drafted in 4 different sports, twice in the basketball, chose to play baseball. Played for, it seemed like, half of the league.
Except for Milwaukee.
Yeah. Got his 3,000 hit with the Twins. Retired. I think he's in the Hall of Fame as a Padre, I think. If not, he should be. My number 1 on the music side, or non, is a music guy.
It's a music side.
Yep, which we lost way too early, and honestly did not know that my cousin was a very huge fan of this guy. My number 1 sports guy, and I'll debate this up and down, Dave Winfield as the greatest athlete
I'll give you that. I'll give you that all day long. I completely agree.
And then my number
between Dave Winfield and Ed Too Tall Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, and then my number 1 non-sports person is Prince himself.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one, and without saying much, that's like you said, the word says it all. No, I told her about the story about him being Mr. Minnesota, and about Prince being Mr. Basketball and Mr. Minnesota, yeah. And she says, "How is that possible? He's like my height." I'm like, "No, he's a little taller than you." I said, "But he's just not that tall." I'm like, "No, this guy is a." And if you've ever heard any stories about Prince playing basketball,
he was killer. My uncle has a story that they went to school with Prince, and he was. Yeah, he was it.
They always say it's like, believe it. That and everybody thinks, and the funny thing is, everybody used to watch the Chappelle show and watch the story that Charlie Murphy says about Prince playing basketball against Charlie Murphy.
Yep.
Believe it, because it's true. I've heard, as a matter of fact, this morning alone, I heard about a ping pong story about when he played ping pong against Jimmy Fallon. The guy is an all around freak. He was an amazing guitarist. He was a great rock and roll thing. So, but he could have played basketball. He was an amazing athlete to go along with him being an amazing musician and singer. We could have had him all over the place.
Yep. No, yeah, he was. Yeah, and the thing is like you said, you hear those stories now, and you're just like, that's Prince. No, he's not a basketball guy. It's just like, yeah, he was. He was legit basketball. He touched anything. So, we did good. Ended top Thanksgiving. Okay. So let's get into a quick list here tried to figure out where I want to go or who I want to believe.
Everybody, believe it all.
Yeah.
If you've got Jesse, we brought up Jesse Ventura and Gary Busey. If you believe those guys, you can believe anybody.
Yeah. So we'll go to entertainmentweekly.com here. 12th best Thanksgiving movies to feast on.
Okay, glad you said it said Thanksgiving instead of Christmas, because you've got one movie that you and I disagree on wholeheartedly. There's a Christmas movie.
But I know your brother will beat the hell out of us if we.
No.
Oh no, yeah.
It's you and me that have the problem. And then I realized that Rambo was a Christmas movie too.
Really?
The first Rambo movie takes place in Christmas.
So I don't know if these are actually just ones that people watch on Thanksgiving, but I don't know if they really have a Thanksgiving theme. I think they do. At number 12, out of 12, Planes, Trains, and Automobile.
Yeah, because he was going back home for Christmas. He was going back home for Thanksgiving.
Yep. I think it'll be a little bit higher. I like that movie.
Which
At
one?
number 11, The Ice Storm in 1997.
I don't remember The Ice Storm.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one. But yeah, they both connect. So it sounds like a love story get connected on Thanksgiving album. Right. Number 10 out of 12. I guess this is Entertainment Weekly. The Miracle on 34th Street.
That's a Christmas movie.
Yes, we all know Miracle 34th is technically a Christmas movie, but you can also think of this timely classic as a bridge between the two holidays. After all, it begins with Susie watching the Thanksgiving Day parade out her window.
Oh, for love of Pete. Okay.
But then Macy's turns around and is out, and meets Santa Claus.
Okay.
Number 9, cartooner looks like the Fantastic Fox.
That was a Thanksgiving movie?
I guess so, yeah.
I think that's Clooney, but yeah, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, George Clooney, yep. I didn't see that one either. At number 8, also in 1997, Soul Food.
I saw that one. That wasn't bad.
Yeah. I guess I didn't really tie Thanksgiving into it. They do cooking there. They're getting a family get together. So
yeah, I didn't either. Okay.
Number 7, The Addams Family Values in 1993.
Was that Thanksgiving?
I guess so.
I didn't know if it was Thanksgiving or not.
Yeah.
That's not okay. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At number 6, The Day Trippers.
The Day Trippers. Is that Tom Hanks?
No, it's I don't know. It doesn't give all the actors' names in here, but no, not Tom Hanks is not in that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 5, Krisha in 2015.
Crenshaw.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nope.
Yeah. Number 4, The Pieces of April. It came out in 2003.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Entertainment. I don't know where you guys are pulling these movies from.
Definitely not their ass.
Yeah. Number 3, The House of Yes. Number 2, Hannah and Her Sisters.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Yeah. And number 1,
Okay.
in 1986, She's Gotta Have It.
That's what we got to make as a Thanksgiving movie because.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some of those I just don't get.
I don't none of that stuff. Well, they don't have Thanksgiving here, so those are just Thursday movies.
Yeah, I'm just looking at another list here. Well, on this other
ahead.
list that's called Time Out, number 5 is the movie Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's a horror film. Thanksgiving is a horror film.
That's a horror film? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That came out last year, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Just see if they have anything else in here. Home for the holidays, yeah. So, but yeah, so that's our show. Tim, any final thoughts?
Are we getting are we getting canceled for Sunday? Just so I need to know now. Go back and watch our episode from Sunday.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Let's just say it was fun. We didn't say anything weird.
Okay.
No, thanks for watching us. We'll be back on Sunday for morning tailgate. Then Brandon and I'll be back here Tuesday or Wednesday for episode 3 of season 3 of our great, wonderful show.
Yeah. Yeah. With that being said, again, morning tailgate. I'll hopefully get that tonight. Hopefully I'm up for it. There's a couple topics they want me to discuss.
On morning tailgate?
Or no, on Sports Minute tonight. Sports Hour, I think we changed it to.
I'm like, wait, when did we change morning tailgate?
Morning tailgate, of course, on Sunday.
It's because of Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, between the ropes. Just keep checking us out. You just never know what's going to pop up, who's going to pop up. Game night with Callan, which is fun. So, with that being said,
we've had 2 weeks in a row. We're looking at a streak now. And anybody who watched the last 2 weeks of morning tailgate, we're looking at a streak of possibly 3 weeks in a row that Mess Around will be on the show.
Whoa.
Yeah, because he was on the week. He came on after you left on 2 Sundays ago. So we're looking at 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, Mr. Bear himself. All right. So with that being said, we'll see y'all next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.